Happy Monday, everyone. I am Rita Ernst. I'm the author of Show Up Positive, and this is your Monday Minute. I am so glad that you are with me, whether you're live or in replay. I'm just happy that you showed up for yourself and to support me. If you're here live, feel free to share some information in the comments. I'm happy to acknowledge those who were able to join me live today. And what I want to do is start first with gratitude. This is something I love to do with groups that I'm working with in my consulting practice because it's so important to pause and appreciate the great stuff going on around us. And sometimes in the hustle and bustle of work life, it's hard to remind ourselves to do that. But I have two fabulous things that I really want to express gratitude about and share with you. Now, the first one you would know if you are on my email distribution list, because I talk about this in this week's Show Up Positive email to that whole distribution list. If you've not joined that, just go to the website, igniteextraordinary.com. About halfway down the page, there's a place to sign up to get my emails. I do not spam you. It is not a sales funnel. You're not going to get a bunch of follow-up sales stuff. It is simply to get on the Show Up Positive email every Monday with some inspiration to your inbox. But this weekend was move-in weekend for my daughter for her junior year of college and her first apartment. And so my husband and I were in St. Louis to move her in, and we actually ended up sharing a truck with her boyfriend and doing some teamwork with he and his brother to get both of them moved into this apartment building in short order. Different apartments. He was on the first floor, she was on the second floor. But we came up with this whole system that really utilized the strengths of each person who was there and put us all to work to the best of our abilities. And it was just so cool. So I just want to have a moment of gratitude because even though it's hard to send my girl off to college and she's a junior and it's still hard, it was just such a fun weekend together because of the way we came together and worked as a team. And then the other gratitude I want to express actually has to do with this show, this Monday Minute, which is last week. My word for the week was thankful. I selected it personally because that's what I needed and invited you to join me. And oh my goodness, did the universe respond? I have so many amazing things to be thankful for. I have some new clients. I got publication in the Courier Journal, an editorial book review on Show Up Positive. So much came back to me in the universe because I was putting out that energy around looking for ways to be thankful. And so I just want you to know that Show Up Positive works. There is a practice that you can adopt for yourself and you're going to get a return. And let me show you how to do it. That's what this Monday Minute is all about. So I've got my copy of the book. I hope you have yours too. And I'm just opening up. And the first page that I open up to, I'm going to stick with. I'm not even going to flip this week because this one is learning. And I think that's so appropriate with both of my kids headed back into school. I could join them in choosing a learning mindset. So I'm going to work on that this week. That's going to be my Show Up Positive word for the week is learning. And I invite you to join me. So here are our three synonyms: understand, discover, master. I mean, who doesn't want to master something, right? Now, you may be like me on a journey far away from mastery. But the journey is the whole fun of it, right? So I'm such a learning person. I love to learn new things. So learners have an inquisitive mindset and a drive to know more. Rather than buying into the bravado of showing off their knowledge and proving their position as an expert, they remain open to exploring and continuously adding to their understanding. Environment plays a significant role in your willingness to be seen as a learner. Consider the following examples of how being seen as a learner is discouraged. So when we are in a learner position and we are faced with policy, right, such as pay for knowledge. A lot of companies do that, pay for knowledge. You go back to school, we'll pay for that. The conflicting message in that is learning equals less money. So if I'm a learner, I'm earning less money because I can only get more money if I get a degree or if I gain more knowledge. or a policy or position that says experts get the best assignments. So if I'm a learner, the conflicting net message is lack of expertise equals overlook. I'm going to be overlooked as the junior player here. So am I willing to stay and put in the time? I mean, these are things you have to think about during the Great Resignation. And the next one, policy or position that is deference to knowledge. We need to defer to people who have more knowledge than us. And the conflicting message is being a learner puts us at the bottom. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay for knowledge, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, put experts in charge of important projects. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying as a matter of policy. That's what I mean in the book. When you really kind of codify this into policy, you have to be careful about how you message and language around it, because you have these conflicting messages that tell people you don't want to be seen as a learner. That's going to be bad for you. And that's not what we want. We want people to always be ready and willing and excited to learn and better themselves. So now let's contrast those messages to what it would be like in a learning culture. So if we were taking a learning position versus a policy position, we would say, instead of pay for knowledge, learn more, earn more. This is, learning equals more value. So we're talking about you're more valuable. And because you're more valuable, we're going to reward you. A learning position, share your knowledge with others, right? So learning from teammates is expected, is the message that we give. Or if your learning position is we pay for learning, then professional development matters. And that is an important distinction, right, for pay for knowledge. We pay for learning. When you are learning, when you are growing, when you are developing as a professional, we're going to reward that back to you. It's a subtlety. It's a nuance, but it's a really important mental nuance that we're making. And the last one in our learning position is annual learning goals. Says that everyone at every level learns all the time. So if we have annual learning goals and everybody's expressing those from top to bottom in the organization, then you are called out as the new person or the junior person that's learning. Everybody is learning. And maybe for some of those more experienced people, their learning is learning how to share their knowledge with other people. So these are the ideas around learning, how to think about it culturally. In practice, for me personally this week, I am just going to be open to new experiences. I'm going to be looking, have my eyes and ears peeled for opportunities when I'm on LinkedIn scrolling through people that I could learn from. I'm going to connect with them. I'm going to ask questions. In fact, I already did that this morning. There was this really great share about using Slack channels to create culture. And I wanted more details and I asked questions. I learned so much and I was able to share it with a valuable client of mine who had similar questions. So I'm going to just choose to be in learning mode, eyes and ears open this week. I hope that you will join me. But if you are in a management position where you are sort of making these policy decisions, please go to my book, go to page 208 in the part 2. It's Learning is the name, and really think about these differences in the messaging and the policies that you have. Do you have a learning policy in place, and how you can nuance your language to become more of a learning organization by writing policies that are learning friendly and learning appreciative, instead of inadvertently giving people that signal that learning is going to put you in a lesser position here at this company. So that is our Monday Minute for this week. Our word is learning. I'll be hitting you up in social media, so make sure you ring my bell on LinkedIn if you want to always see my posts, and comment. If you comment and engage with my posts, you'll see them more frequently in your feed, or just come look me up. And I'll talk a little bit more about some learning ideas throughout the week this week. I want to give you a special heads up for next week. And I know I'm going long here, but real quick, I'm starting to talk more about the card deck for teams and meetings. I'm so excited about the card deck. So I almost sprung this on you today, but I'm just going to preview you to it, and I'm going to promote this broadcast a lot more. Next week, instead of coming to the book, I'm going to bring my card deck. And we're going to start practicing using the card deck. So you've gotten, I think this is episode 6, so about 6 examples of different ways to access the book. I want to show you about the card deck because some of you are going to want to have this card deck in your hands. And I do have a public workshop where I teach you how to use the card deck. It's a small format, lots of interpersonal touch, and then there is a job aid to help you as well. But I'm going to preview some of the stuff in the card deck just to give you that little enticement to see if it's something you want to add to your Show Up Positive arsenal to really help you be that firework you want to be, to create the positive culture around you that's going to help you be your best self every day. This week, though, we're going to practice being learners. Thank you for joining me. Hit me up in my DMs. Let me know how your learner journey is going this week. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful week.